In the world of bright screens and pixelated adventures, our gamer, just call him Mike, was streaming his latest video game session. He'd been playing games for years, and to be honest, he was getting a bit tired of it all. Everything was too easy, and the thrill of conquering virtual worlds had become mundane. His fans loved him, but even they could sense his boredom. As Mike mindlessly clicked through another level of a generic shoot-'em-up game, the chat on his live stream was buzzing with suggestions. People were throwing out titles left and right, but none of them sparked his interest. He sighed, his eyes half closed as he yawned. "Come on, guys," Mike muttered to himself. "Can't someone recommend something actually challenging?" Just when he was about to give up on the chat suggestions, a new message popped up. It was from a user he didn't recognize. XXGamerGodSX. "Hey Mike," the message read, "I've got a game that'll really test your skills. Check it out. Link." Mike's curiosity got the better of him. He clicked the link and his screen filled with a download bar. As the game installed, he noticed that the title was simply Smiley's Challenge. Strange, he thought. Once the game was ready, Mike launched it. He was greeted by a dark, eerie menu screen. The only option was to start a new game. Without any hesitation, he hit New Game, and the adventure began. The screen faded in, and Mike found himself in a dimly lit room, his character standing at the center. The graphics were top-notch, and the atmosphere was unsettling. Dust particles floated through the air, and the air was heavy with an oppressive silence. Mike could not control his character, a middle-aged man in tattered clothing. He had no weapons, no tools, just a sense of dread in his chest. The room he was in was filled with old furniture covered in dusty sheets. He spotted a single door on the far side, and with nothing else to do, the character started to move toward it. As he approached the door, a message appeared on the screen. "You are not alone." Mike furrowed his brows, wondering if this was part of the game's eerie atmosphere. The man pushed the door open, revealing a long, narrow hallway with flickering lights. The tension in his gut grew as he moved down the corridor, footsteps echoing in his ears. Suddenly, a voice crackled through his headset. It was voice of the character, trembling with fear. "Hello, can anyone hear me?" Mike was taken aback. This wasn't in the game's description. He could hear him breathing as if he was right beside him. "Who are you? Where are you?" he asked, his voice shaky. "I'm trapped in this place," the man replied. "I can't really see anything, but I can hear you. Please, help me." Without warning, a menacing figure in a smiley face mask appeared at the end of the hallway. The mask was twisted in an unsettling grin. Mike's heart raced as he realized that this was the game's antagonist. In a panic, Mike tried to warn his character, but it was as if he had lost his voice. The man voice in his ear grew more desperate. "Please, you have to help me escape. The killer is getting closer." Mike watched in horror as his character stumbled and fell, and the killer with the smiley face mask reached him. The screen faded to black and a chilling message appeared. "Game over." The room around Mike seemed to spin as he took off his headset. That was not just a game, it felt all too real. He was sweating, trembling, and his heart pounded in his chest. He glanced at the chat, which was now flooded with messages. What the hell was that? "Mike, you got wrecked. LOL, you suck." Mike took a deep breath and tried to regain his composure. Okay, I'll give it another shot," he said, putting his headset back on. He couldn't let this game beat him. The screen came back to life, and Mike found himself in the same dimly lit room with a different person, a new character, a woman this time. He needed to save the girl. The chat had been buzzing with theories and suggestions, and Mike was determined to prove himself. "Listen," he whispered into his microphone. "I don't know how, but I'm here to help you. Just tell me what to do." The girl's voice came back, shaky but hopeful. "Thank you. You need to find a way out of that room and avoid the killer. There's a door on the other side." Mike nodded, his heart pounding. "Okay, let's move toward the door, avoiding the creepy figure lurking in the shadows." She opened the door and stepped into the same eerie hallway. Mike's voice guided her through the twists and turns, helping her evade the killer at every corner. They found puzzles that had to be solved to progress, and Mike's followers in the chat were frantically typing out solutions and advice. As Mike and the girl worked together, the tension in the game escalated. The killer grew more aggressive, lurking in the shadows, waiting for any opportunity to strike. Mike's character narrowly avoided death several times, but the chat's help and Mike's guidance kept her alive. They had solved countless puzzles, navigated through dark corridors, and barely escaped the killer's clutches time and time again. It was a grueling and terrifying experience, but they were determined to make it out. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the game's climax. They found themselves in a room with a massive, ornate door. The girl's voice trembled as she spoke. "This is it, Mike. This door leads to the exit. We just need to open it." The chat was filled with excitement as they watched every move. They suggested trying different combinations, pushing statues and pulling levers. It was a collective effort, and after what felt like an eternity, the massive door creaked open. The girl's voice was filled with relief. "We did it! Now let's get out of here." But just as she were about to step through the door, the killer appeared one last time, his smiley face mask twisted in a sinister grin. Mike's character fought back with everything she had, dodging and weaving, until she finally managed to push the killer away and escape through the door. The screen went black, and a message appeared. "Congratulations, you have escaped Smiley's challenge." Mike let out a triumphant cheer, and the chat exploded with excitement. He had done it with the help of his loyal viewers. They saved her. It had been a harrowing journey, but they had beaten the game. As Mike caught his breath, another message appeared on the screen, this time from the user XGamerGod XX. "Well done, Mike, but this is just the beginning. Look out for Smiley's challenge part 2 coming soon." Mike leaned back in his chair, a sense of unease creeping over him. What had he gotten himself into? He had saved the girl, but there was more to this game than met the eye, and he had a sinking feeling that the challenges ahead would only get harder and the stakes even higher.